Have you ever thought about starting a project, but then never actually started it? Or have you ever promised yourself you would do something and then you either keep putting it off and off and off and off into the future, ultimately never doing it, or you do start it, but then inside a number of, it could be minutes, hours, days, weeks, however long, you basically give up and you let it fall by the wayside and it collects dust and you never actually finish or cross the finish line. Ultimately, not giving you the sense of satisfaction that you were probably wanting to get from the thing that you're wanting to do in the first place. Anyway, if this applies to you at all, then this is the video for you. Again, everyone, my name's Rick. My aim is to help you realize the truth that feeling great really is your natural state. In today's video, I want to give you 4 key pillars or 4 key tools, steps, stages, whatever way you want to look at it, to getting stuff done. And whenever I say stuff, I mean something like a project or a goal, something that you've been wanting to do for a while or even just recently. Doesn't matter when. The point is, if you do these 4 things, you will get done what it is that you're looking to get done. So, without further ado, I'm going to get stuck straight in now. The first thing you got to do is, whatever your goal is, whatever your project is, whatever it is you want to do, don't fixate on the future. Because if you fixate on the future, you're going to be generating problems which may or may not ever come to pass. And that's a surefire way to put the, well, I was going to say put the fire of your motivation out in a fell swoop, but basically what it'll do is it will kill your momentum before you ever get started. Because if you create these hypothetical problems, then you're going to think, you know what, maybe I won't do this. It might be too hard. So, yeah, and then people laugh at me and blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just, you're going to talk yourself out of doing it. Don't do it. Don't fixate on the future. If you're going to fixate on the future, well, you can focus on the future, i.e. the finished project. Yes, definitely. Know what it is that you want to do. For instance, in my case, not too long, well, it was about 2 years ago, feels like yesterday, but a couple of years ago, I made it was a whiskey cabinet, a whiskey barrel cabinet. So, I'll actually put a little photo of it just up here. But it was, long story short, it was a whiskey cask, and I converted it into a cabinet. Now, it was quite the job required a little bit of technical know-how, which I had to learn through WikiHow and YouTube mostly, but it was mostly just a lot of man hours, a lot of sanding and sawing at wood and figuring out how to like put things in the right way. Anyway, it worked out really quite well. Actually, I'm happy to say, the satisfaction I got from finishing the thing was absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed the whole process. But if I had stopped before even doing it and thought about all the problems that might appear along the line, I probably would. I definitely wouldn't have done it. It would have been insane. Anyway, that's just one example. So don't fixate too much on the future process, because then you're going to be just generating problems which may or may not ever come to pass, and you'll probably lose momentum before you even get started. The next thing to do, step number 2, to ensuring that you complete your task or finish your goal, whatever it is you're looking to do, is set a plan, set a definitive plan. Get it written down on a file page or a poster or a whiteboard or some sticky notes, whatever, and it can be very simple. For instance, I wrote a book recently, actually. Well, it's not quite finished yet, but it's nearly there. And the book it's essentially a collection, a review of a lot of the tools which I have learned from various sources recently over the last few years, self-improvement tools, but more on that later. So whenever I say form a plan, it can be very simple, it can be very complex, whatever you feel more comfortable with. For instance, in the book, I basically just I constructed, well, a general structure of the book, i.e. introduction, middle, end, and then expand each one. So the middle was to be comprised of 2 sections, part 1, part 2, and then in each part I thought, right, what theme will I have in this part, what theme will I have in this part? I was thinking mind and body in the first part, or maybe soul or spirit in the second part, and then extrapolate that into different chapters, break it down in the physical section, for instance, cold water exposure, breathing techniques, fasting, things like that there. So I got my key topics down, I got the skeleton of the book down, and I also listed a list of resources which I knew that I was going to use, and then I would be adding to that list as I went on. So that's that one, quite simply broken down. Also with the barrel, which I just mentioned a minute ago. With that there, planning was, well, in that case there, what I did was, I didn't so much write it out. Well, I think I wrote a few notes actually, but I got all my tools, all my equipment, all set out in the specific space where I was going to be. I made sure I had everything that I needed was going to be there and ready whenever I was starting the project. So if you what's the phrase? If you fail to prepare, you're preparing to fail, basically, and truer words were never spoken. So be it a physical project, be it a book, be it whatever it is you're looking to do, have some form of plan, have some form of setup which makes it easier to do the thing that it is you're looking to do. Anyway, moving on. The third step, or the third key to actually doing what it is that you want to do, is simply do it. To quote Shia LaBeouf from his very insightful monologue released maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago. You know, the one where he's walking around the room going, "Just do it. Do it now. Just do it." Basically that there. And that is, it's so simple, but it's so true. The biggest barrier you will have to starting any project that you do will more than likely be the inertia that you have to overcome to actually start. And by inertia, I mean basically just getting the ball rolling, getting the wheels moving. It's like if you're trying to push a car along a flat surface. The hardest bit in pushing the car is just getting it to move initially, but once you get it moving, you've got momentum. And it's much easier to maintain and increase momentum than it is to actually create momentum in the first place. So just start it, just do it. Break the barrier, break the ice, get the balls rolling, get the wheels turning, whatever phrase you want to use, just do it and the rest will flow. Anyway, the fourth and final key step or key ingredient to getting done what it is that you want to do is just committing to it. Once you get the ball rolling, once you get the thing in motion, just commit to it. And I'm not going to say there's one way that's better than another way in terms of committing to it. I know some people advocate for doing small, consistent contributions or making small, consistent efforts on a daily basis. That might work for them. For other people, they prefer having a space in between sessions. So, for instance, if you're writing a book or studying for an exam or making some form of craft, barrel, whatever, some people like doing it, say, on a Monday or a Tuesday and then leave it for a few days and then come back to it because they feel that, one, it gives them time to maybe just relax from it, or maybe that's not the right word, but if for instance, if you're writing a book and you're relying on creativity, you're actually having to like make stuff up as you go along, which is what you're doing. If you leave a space between two sessions, there's a thing called the spacing effect, and in that spacing effect, say you have a couple of problems or things you're trying to solve in your writing. If you go away, your subconscious will be working on those problems that your conscious mind wasn't able to solve whenever you were sitting doing it in the first place. But whenever you come back to it several days later, chances are you'll actually have an answer to what it was you were asking before, and the answer could come anytime. It could come days, hours, minutes, weeks later after when the problem first arose. So in terms of committing to whatever project it is you're doing, it's going to be slightly different for each person. You can focus on it every day for a few minutes or a few hours, whatever you want, or you can have it several days apart or even a week apart. Whatever works for you. There is no one size fits all in this respect. But to sum up, to get stuff done that you're looking to get done, be it a goal, project, whatever it is you're looking to do, essentially, don't fixate too much in the future process because you're going to create problems which may or may not ever come to pass. Just focus on the end goal and then enjoy the process as you go along, staying present to the moment. Secondly, form a plan. It can be simple, it can be complex, simple or as complex as you want. Just write it down, jot it out, make your tools or your environment conducive to what it is that you're trying to do. Number 3, just overcome the inertia. Just get going. Once you've got started, that's the hardest bit. It's easier to get going. Sorry, it's easier to keep going than it is to start going in the first place. So once you get the ball rolling, you've got momentum. Super. And then the final step, simply just commit to it. Whenever you commit to it with all of your mind and energy, basically where thought goes, energy flows. You're much more likely to actually see the thing through at the very end. And I hope you gain some degree of value from this video today. If you have any thoughts, comments, suggestions, anything like that, please post away in the comment section below as always. And again, as always, thanks again for watching. All the best and take care.